let's talk about annoying things that use AA batteries. As fairly techie nomads, we have lots of equipment and other stuff that uses AA's, AAA's, and 9-volt batteries. Things like our binoculars, my voltmeters, infrared temperature gun, my favorite cordless mouse, and this wireless keyboard that we use to trigger lights, plus other stuff like this microphone, or this audio recorder, these headphones, this coffee zhuzher, this camera flash, this 3D controller. And of course, some of these things can now be purchased with rechargeable batteries built right into them. These headphones, for example, there's a newer model that's rechargeable, but these still work great for my purposes, and I don't need the expense of new ones just to have a rechargeable battery. So I started looking online for some rechargeable AA's and AAA's that don't suck, like nickel metal. And of course, Amazon is full of these USB rechargeable lithium batteries, but they're getting mixed reviews, especially among the no-name brands. But not a week later, out of the blue, one of our viewers named Tom from Salt Lake City sent me an email and asked me if I could use such batteries. And of course I said yes. Not even a week later, I'd received a care package with some AA, AAA, and 9-volt lithium batteries to check out. So Paleblue has designed these batteries in traditional formats, double, AAA, etc. Included inside each cell is a lithium-ion battery, a USB-C charger, and a BMS that monitors the battery voltage and steps it down from the 4-volt lithium down to 1.5 volts alkaline, what the alkaline devices are expecting. Full disclosure, Tom sent these to me for free, but this is not sponsored. I've not been paid to say anything. There will be no affiliate links in the description down below. Everything I'm saying is my own honest opinion. Let's tear into these and check them out. So here they are. AA, AAA, and the 9 volts. They all come in the fairly nice packaging. A reusable travel case that's nice and hard, nice and rigid. The batteries themselves, of course. And then it includes the USB-C breakout to charge them all up. Really nice silicone jacketed cable, kind of metallic, high quality sounding connectors. And they just plug in like this. AAA's are going to be much the same. Yep. USB-C there again, and the 9 volts. Come here, you. There we go. Looks like these are micro USB. Little slidey door over the charge port. Now, the packaging says right on it, not even in the manual, but right on the sleeve here, charge before use. So we'll get that done. So the first thing that came to my mind when even considering such a battery is because they've shoehorned this USB-C connector and a charging circuit and a BMS all inside this cell, how much room is left for the battery itself? How much capacity would such a battery have? And how would that stack up to a traditional alkaline battery? Fortunately, that's really easy to quantify. I'm going to use our trusty iMax B6 Mini and this AA battery holder socket that I 3D printed. And I've got this set to a discharge cycle where it will put a 500 milliamp load on the battery until it reaches 0.9 volts. So I actually ran down to the corner store, a little tienda, and bought 2 brand new Energizer Max AA batteries. They sell them as singles out of a large retail package, but you'll have to take my word for it that they're new. And let's set it up here and run a discharge on it. So, as you can see, the Energizer ran for 3 hours and 10 minutes, and we got 1,597 milliamp hours out of it before the battery voltage dropped to 0.9 volts. Now let's compare that to a Paleblue AA. And the Paleblue rechargeable lithium battery ran for 3 hours 27 minutes, and we got 1,738 milliamp hours out of it before it cut out. And did you notice anything in that time lapse? The alkaline battery voltage slowly drops and gets lower and lower as the battery is depleted. This is why a flashlight gets dimmer and dimmer as you deplete the batteries and get closer to dead. But because the Paleblue battery is taking a higher voltage from a lithium battery and converting it using a DC to DC converter to create the 1.5 volts, it stays locked at about 1.5 volts for the whole discharge. I say the whole discharge, but I did notice a very clever little trick these things are doing right at the end of the discharge cycle. To understand the magic these things are pulling, you first have to understand how a traditional BMS works. So I'll use this radio BMS that we just did as an example. It's wired in between the batteries and the output contacts on the battery here, and it's intercepting the battery voltage, and it monitors the voltage of each of the cells, and when the battery voltage gets too low, it kills the output to the contacts on the outside of the battery case. The problem with that is, in the context of a device like this audio recorder that's expecting a traditional alkaline AA battery, is that the onboard voltage detection and low battery warning would never trigger. It sees 1.5 volts the whole time, recording its file, happy as a clam, and then suddenly it would just cut the power and you'd lose your last file because the device couldn't write the end of the file and it would be corrupt. And to be honest, I was kind of expecting that to happen with these. But as I was watching these time-lapse videos, I noticed that as the battery was approaching the end of the cycle, the output voltage drops to 1.1 volts or so and continues that way for a while. So this clever trick allows the batteries to trigger the low battery mechanisms in your devices, and you get a low battery warning rather than just getting cut off. So in the course of filming this video, I've charged and discharged these 4 AA's extensively, discharging using the discharge cycle on the IMAX B6, and 1700 milliamp hours approximately every time. They continue to work great, and I've used these AA's and AAA's and the 9 volts tested in all of the appliances I have, and no surprise, it's 1.5 volts. They work perfectly. So yes, 10 out of 10. I would recommend. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.